Guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Toothless Tigers. We have finished up the 2026 season, and as you can see on the left, we finished above 500, second in the division, and it got close towards the end there, where we were potentially on course to get a wild card. But to be honest, look at that. All four wildcard teams above 90 wins is just tough, and unfortunately, we weren't quite there. And to be honest, I don't think we're ready for it either. I don't think we would have had a run, but it's always nice when you get that close. You kind of want to just get in there and play and get into the playoffs. So that's why I didn't bring any of the end to you, and I've actually simulated towards the free agency. Um, so we'll check out the playoffs. It was this year won by the Seattle Mariners. They had a very good year. They won 95 games, tied with Texas, led their division. Julio Rodriguez was their best hitter, 8.3 wins above replacement, and Kodai Senga had a really good year. But Ashton Izzy actually won Rookie of the Year just ahead of Austin Hendrick, which we'll see in a minute, but he was excellent. 228 strikeouts over 165 innings is quite spectacular. 12.4 Ks per 9 led the league. Their pitching was outstanding, and their hitting was alright, I guess. It wasn't anything massively spectacular. So they are your winners of the division. Quickly have a look back at some of the award zones. They're going to be a bit all over the place because well, actually, we'll go through the email. So, Enrique Braidfield Jr. Was designated for assignment. I quite like him, so I took a flyer on him as a potential backup fourth outfielder kind of position. Pretty low risk from us. I also picked up Victor Lizaraga, who looks like he could be something decent out of the pen. He's only 22, so plenty of opportunity to develop. We've got a new scout, Weasley Hernandez, is now our scout. Couple of trades. We re-signed, so Alex Lang re-signed and avoided arbitration, as did Torque, as did Green, as did Scooble, Young, and Dingler. You can see a few trade proposals here. I'll show you that in a minute. And then trophies. So Riley Green, left fielder, Gold Glove for the third year in a row, 24, 25, 26, continues to provide excellent value at defense. Bit of a down year, quite a bit of a down year on the offensive side of of things, which was a shame to see. Looking for a bounce back year this year, still very good. Re-signed at $5.5 million. That was it. No one else worth noting from that side of things. Relief work was the setup man of the year was actually won by Jose Diaz. Outstanding year from him. 3.5 wins, 120 Ks over 70 innings, or 15.5 Ks per 9. 1.78 ERA. Saved 37 games. Just a great year and a great closer. Really happy with him. Alex Lang also was third on this. His overalls are poor because he's for some reason set as a starting pitcher, which I can't quite understand. But he's had a very, very, very good year as well. 66 innings. He had a 1.5 ERA. Really very good year. Excellent value at the back end of our bullpen. Sorry, just need to sort that rotation out really. Weird trade as well. Bobby Witt Jr., who's excellent, got traded to the Cardinals for Elvis Garcia. 66th ranked prospect, but doesn't look that good. Kelbis Petersheim, alright. And Tyler Ball, who's alright. So, interesting trade from the Royals, but they're losing him, which is always good. And then Reed Detmers, who's not so good anymore, went to Atlanta. Silver Sluggers, we had no one, but the usual guys are on the Rutschman, Julio, Aaron Judge, Coleman Zada was on there as well for a DH. NL, nothing of note. Ellie De La Cruz, who you'll see actually won the MVP again. Now, this is where I know. So yeah, Ashton Izzy was there. He won Rookie of the Year. Austin Hendricks, very close second. Good year for him. Jackson Churio, a distant fourth, but still good to see. A couple of our rookies on there. Looking for good second years out of them. Scott Servos and David Jones won the Manager of the Year. And now you're going to see something which is going to really hurt you. Not here. Jacob deGrom won Cy Young just ahead of Matt Cantorino. No one of our pitchers on there. But Casey Mize has somehow beaten Paul Skeens to this Cy Young award. I mean, Mize had a good year, but don't get me wrong, Paul Skeens was a much better year. Just been drafted first overall. Yes, by the Pittsburgh Pirates in real life. But yeah, Casey Mize traded away. We did for Drew Bowser, who is at the Midland Rockhounds in Oakland now. He's been traded again. Didn't even realise. For Travis Sanders and Rowan Wick, but he's all right. Kind of fine with trading him away in the end. And obviously we got Churio, who I'm still very happy with, and he actually led the league in at-bats. He needs to hopefully have a better hitting year, but I'm still pretty happy with him being there. But yeah, shock to see Mize. Mize now a free agent though this year. I believe he's not signed a new contract. He hasn't, so maybe we can go and get him back. Don't think so, but we'll see. And then Julio Rodriguez wins his first MVP of his career. Emmanuel Rodriguez led the league in homers and walks and slugging. He's an excellent player, but he will win an MVP probably next year, is my guess. Ellie De La Cruz, like I said, won his second. Lloydie Chappelli had a really good year, arguably an MVP year, led the league in homers and ribbies. And that is pretty much it from that side of things. Like I said, we have gone out and just offered all the contracts that we wanted. Now this trade that I was looking at was this. We're giving up David Armas, George Lombard Jr., Ethan O'Donnell, Nick York, Andrew Jenkins, Chasey Hans, Sol Sanchez for Max Clark, who Tigers signed in real life. Kind of want to get him because of that. And I think he could be a very good player, but I feel like I'm giving up way too much. And we get Royce Lewis, who is good. Just need to get a proper scout on him. He has also got a long-term contract, but they would be. I have asked them to retain some of it, so it would help. I don't know about this deal though. I'm very umming and ahhing about it. I mean, potentially we eat some money for this year if they've got someone who's got 1 year left on their deal and is taking a lot of money. Someone like, I mean, maybe they'd want to get rid of Travis Darno. In fact, they'd probably definitely want to get rid of Travis Darno for that. Maybe I go and take some of that money off their hands and use that as a way of helping things out. Or maybe I go and get like Jesus Luzardo, who's on quite a big contract, really help them out financially. If I get rid of him, and then maybe ask them to retain 10% of him in a way, and then I can maybe get rid of Andrew Jenkins, maybe get rid of, if I can do that, I don't know, very up in the air about this trade, so we'll see about that, see what they come back with. We also got, like I said, we've got a new scouting director, so he's kind of working his way through the organisation. I think he's pretty much profiled all of these guys. I'm a bit worried about Nekau not being that 30 million player we thought he was going to be. Got a couple of player options. He's got 1 year of us left before he has 2 player options to decide on. It's a lot of money we're paying him. I'm not 100% sure it's going to be of value. Could be a bit of a poor deal in the end. He did look so good when we first saw him. And Javi Baez is very close to... he's got 1 year left, basically, on that horrific deal. And then we can say goodbye to Javi, and that is that. Don't know if it'll show me next year's upcoming free agents. Probably won't. I don't think it will. You can't... No. Annoyingly, I can't select that. But I mean, I could see here. In fact, the best way of doing it is actually on here and going to salaries. So yeah, Javi Baez last year, this year coming 27. Obviously, we're looking at, and then that's it. We've only got Hyoji Nakao on a long-term deal. Fortunately, I do expect Riley Green to want to maybe discuss a big deal next year. Maybe Scooble is going to want a longer deal, but I'm going to need to see more out of these guys, to be honest. Nick Castellanos going to be a free agent. I might pick him up as a bat for old time's sake. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to push forward to free agents signing, and then I'll be back. We are at the free agency filings, and I've got two big pieces of news. Firstly, the grandson of Wind is on the market. I was looking at him before I actually started recording, and he hadn't been posted because I saw the KBO postings, and I was frustrated. But I forgot that they can declare free agency. They don't need to be posted after I think is it 10 years? Maybe it's 10 years. So yeah, here he is. I love Jung-Hoo Lee. He's such a good player. Unfortunately, probably don't have the finances to afford him. Got about 12 million to spend, and I really don't need outfielders. I really need pitching, which unfortunately is not a strong suit. There's Max Fried, who I'm just not going to be able to afford. Although I would love to. He's been absolutely dominant these last couple of years, and I couldn't, unfortunately, do it. Casey Myers is on here, but he wants a lot of money because he's just won the Cy Young. Severino's on here, not very good. And Zach Eflin's on here, was pretty good for Miami. But yeah, I mean, I love this guy in minor league. It doesn't look too bad. Yeah, it's pretty poor, unfortunately. So maybe it's somewhere where we start looking at the trading block and picking a guy up on a 1-year deal, like Dylan Cease. Although, yeah, not so sure on that. Nick Gordon's on here. Maybe we start looking around and doing that. One thing I do, also we made a trade. The trade we were looking at, we found a way to make it work. And as much as I wanted to sign Max Clark, I didn't want it to completely destroy our team and make a stupid decision. Because we needed pitching, really. And I have gone out and I've got some pitching. So what has happened is we have traded David Armas, who is good, but he's a while away, and a lot of my players have really failed recently, so I've lost a lot of confidence in my farm. This guy's a bit of a throw in Maganana. Ethan McDonald's a pretty fringe 4A player, played a bit for us last year and this year. We got a lot of people like him. We don't need him, so I was fine with that. Daniel Palencia looks okay. He's massively, as usual, changed when he's gone to another team, but he did play a bit for us, and he wasn't great. He wasn't great for Toledo last year, so I didn't re-sign him. He looks like he could be a pretty good reliever. I don't think he can be a starter. And we gave up Nick York. Nick York's a big one. He had a good year with us, a really good year. Problem is, he plays first. We've got a first baseman. He doesn't really play anywhere else that well. Yes, he's a great hitter, but don't really need hitting, like we said. And he kind of didn't fit my lineup anyway. There was other players I wanted to play instead of him. And I think he's going to regress. I genuinely do. And we gave up Chase Yans. He's just going to be a good defender. We drafted him. Bit of a shame. I like these guys that we draft. But we've gone out. We've got our boy Max Clark. He's probably not going to be at AA. He's probably going to be start at A or Advanced A. He's 21 years old. He might not be anything. I think for the sake of the fact that we signed him in real life, it's worth it. Picked up this guy, Gilberto Sierra, really good, durable. They drafted him last year, yeah, in the second round. I think he's pretty good. And we got Jesus Lozado, a veteran, very, very solid pitcher who I think can have a good year for us. So that's the trade that we made. And it leaves our team, I'll just put him here, looking a bit like this. So Luzardo, Dollander, Skubal, Lang apparently, and Ty Madden. Not so sure on that with Flores and Job in the pen. Lineups looking like this: Churio, Green, Hendrick, Nakal, Win, Young, Dingler, Workman, Byers. Would like to see us get Colt Keith a bit more in there. He does face lefties as a DH, but he had a good year last year. Very good year last year. So would like to see him play a bit more. But that is up to Mr. Hinch. So I've employed him to do that role. Like I said, we've got Bradfield Jr. I think I like him. Isaac Pacheco is not far away from like a middle infield point of view. To be honest, I think can be every bit as good as Nick York was. And like I said, Andrew Jenkins, another guy who was ranked really high. He's regressed a bit, but could go and do the same thing that Nick York was doing. So that's why I've given up Nick York. I'm not too sad about it. I've got our now ace, Jesus Luzardo, for 2 years, and they're absorbing a bit, only 5% contract, but it's a cheap deal. I'm happily do that. And now it's just, finding out what we need to do with the money we've got available. The temptation to go and get Jung-Hoo Lee is quite a bit. I don't want to give Casey Mize a 6-year deal, unfortunately. As much as I'd like the story of bringing him back, I just don't think it's feasible or makes any sense, and I don't think he's going to be that good for that long. Someone like Sandy Alcantara, though, would be a pretty solid guy to go and get. I mean, I like him. And he only wants a 3-year deal, so I think this could be a kind of play here. And I kind of explain a bit of my thinking why I want to get a veteran pitcher, because I think we've got someone like Max Liebiek who looks good, could easily break into the rotation this year. If we look at AA, we've got Jamie Arnold, who maybe not so much. Harry Ford is going to be our... he's going to be on the majors this year. I'm just going to put him on there. He's going to catch with Dingler. So congrats to him. Unless it's some major nightmare in spring training. Ross Dunn, really good. Potentially, he is a year or so away. Who I'm trying to find is Jimmy Bethia. This guy we drafted. He's fragile, which is a shame, but he's excellent, and he's going to be up in a year or two probably. I don't see why not. He was 8th overall. He's ranked the 11th highest prospect in the league. He's going to be there or thereabouts, Mr. Magnificent. So, and also Kaimani Salgado, who had a good year last year. Single A, short period of time. 91th overall prospect. They're both on their way. So I think having Luzardo there bridges that gap a little bit. Also got Justin Lagernick, who we drafted a while ago, although he's struggling. So that's why I think we get someone like, we've got Luzardo, but I think we go and get someone like Sandy Alcantara, and even potentially he goes off on and has a really good start of the year. We trade him. Which is kind of my thinking with Luzardo as well. I think if I can get him for 9.5 million, I'm happy to give him a player option. I'm happy to do that. 3 years, 28 million. I think it's very reasonable for him. That pretty much eats all our money up. I'm not going to go and do anything else. Real shame we're not really in a position to go and get Jung-Hoo Lee. He's just going to unfortunately want too much money, and I can't afford it. If we didn't have Javi Baez or someone like that, I would so go and get him. I mean, there's always the potential if we wanted to, we could bundle Churio in with someone who's on a lot of more money. Like, I mean, what's the market looking like for Nakal? If I do all players, if I do multiple player package, no one's interested in him. That's always a bit worrying. Okay, was not expecting that. I thought someone would be a little bit interested in him. Is there even any point? Nope. If I retained like 50% of his salary. Nope. Not even worth it. Yeah, I mean, Emmanuel class 8. There's not really a way we can shed the dead weight, so we won't. Before I end it, I will quick look at our owner goals. Still want us to acquire a nationally popular player. I have done. I think this is bugged because I have acquired nationally popular players. And they're saying Andres Gomez is the closest match, but if it's, I don't really know what that means. Increase attendance by 2031. We're going to have to start winning games more. And we have improved our fan interest, but it hasn't really shown there. And then we've got 2 years left to improve our international amateur fines and get them into our starting lineup. Speaking of, we do have international amateurs are happening at the moment. Is that the next best player available? No. Get him in. And I kind of want to get in, move him from the training, get Andres Guevara in. Yeah, we'll go and run that. A couple of good guys on here. Well, it looks like anyway. We'll see. Again, they never really end up doing anything, which is a shame. I don't even know who the highest would be on where they would be. I remember this guy was one, but look, he was an 80 everything, and now he's this. It's the way it is, unfortunately, with international free agents. Very high risk. So yeah, I think that will do it for this episode, and we'll come back probably around spring training. We'll see what's happened in the off-season. I don't expect much. I think we will sign Sandy Alcantara. Beyond that, I don't see any trades happening. I'm just looking for a bit more progression from some of these players. And then we're kind of, waiting for our youngsters to come through. So anyway, that shall do it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.